All right, MMA Weekly here with Mike Bisping. Mike, getting ready for UFC 113, Dan Miller.
Yep.
Coming off a rough loss your last time out against Wanderlei Silva. What do you take from that fight? I mean, obviously,
there's
no
a rough loss. I personally thought I was going to get the nod on the night. I thought I won the first 2 rounds. He didn't really do much in the fight apart from a guillotine at the end of the second round. He knocked me down at the end of the third round, so obviously he gets the third. But I wouldn't describe it as a
well, I mean, it kind of sidetracks you a little bit. You know, you're getting things rolling, and you take a loss. You never want to take a loss, obviously.
No, of course, no. You never want to take a loss, and I'm pissed off. But I've been fighting very regularly. I've fought 4 times in 10 months, and all that time around the gym, I've really progressed and developed as a fighter. I've been working with a new boxing coach, Mark Kinney. He's really improved my boxing. Everything's just gone to the next level, and I just have real peace of mind in my own ability now. And I'm going to finish this fight and move on to bigger and better things.
Do you feel like the way the fight went with Wanderlei, going the distance like that, even though you came up on the short end of the judge's decision, that did something for you in your psyche as far as saying, hey, I can hang with this guy's a legendary fighter.
I've got 3 losses on my career, so people talk shit, but I there to Henderson, Richard, and Wanderlei, and the only one I got stopped off was Henderson,
and how many mixed martial artists have an undefeated record? I mean,
exactly.
Let's face it, it's not like boxing.
And 2 of those losses were close fights, so. But I take a lot of pluses from the Wanderlei fight. I went in there with the beast, a very aggressive fighter who was fighting a new weight class and looking to reinvent himself. And I gave a very good account of myself. I take a lot of pluses from that. My wrestling felt great in that fight. My striking was good. My cardio was good. Everything was good. So now I need more self-belief. Contrary to popular belief, where everyone on the internet says I'm an arrogant arsehole. And no, it's true though. They do. They say I'm an arrogant arsehole, and I think I'm this and that.
It's just the accent.
Blah blah blah.
It's the accent.
That's not the case at all. But now, I am starting to believe in myself a lot more. And, I've never had peace of mind going into a fight like I have this time, in my own confidence in my own ability, and knowing that, I've got what it takes to beat him and beat a lot of the guys out there.
That said, how do you keep your focus on Dan Miller? Because he's a guy who I think a lot of fighters respect his ability, but he doesn't have the name of a Wanderlei or a Dan Henderson or some of the guys you've been fighting.
Yeah, but it's easy though. That's the guy I'm fighting. That's the guy I'm getting paid to fight. And if I lose, then my career, it takes a step backwards, and I lose more respect and things like that. So I don't need extra motivation, and I don't lose focus on Dan Miller. That's the job I've got. That's the job I've had for the last 8-10 weeks. I've got to fight Dan Miller. That's the guy. There's the only person I've been thinking about, watching his. Well, I watched his tapes a few times. Now I let my coaches do that. I'm worrying about what I'm going to do, and let him worry about what I'm going to do. But ultimately, he's a tough opponent. He hasn't got to where he is, by being, an easy opponent, but I think for me it's a good matchup.
What does Dan Miller bring to the fight that maybe most concerns you, or you most watch out for in his game? What do you think are his strengths?
Yeah, I mean the main thing I've got to be aware of is he's got a good guillotine. I think that's one of his main things to look out for. But it doesn't concern me. I've never been submitted. Wanderlei did have me in a guillotine there for a little bit, and it was nice and tight, believe me. But
so you've had the practice getting there.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, I've had the experience of escaping those. His groundwork, I'd say, is his main advantage. But
but is it really an advantage? Because I think a lot of people saw you as a striker, but then when you fought Dennis Kang, who was one of the best ground fighters in the world, you really showed a new side of yourself.
Trust me, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for years and years, and I roll with black belts all the time, and they're not a problem. Just last night I was rolling with a very, very high level black belt, and I was all over him. I don't think Dan Miller's gonna.
Are you saying you subbed Hickson Gracie last night? No.
Yeah.
So you've just been kind of hiding that jiu-jitsu in your back pocket for a couple of years, waiting until you needed to pull it out.
I'm a striker, and I've been thinking, maybe I do need to start being a bit more offensive with my jiu-jitsu, and that's maybe why people haven't seen it. I like to use my fists, but who knows? There may be a submission coming one day.
Saturday night?
Who knows? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's certainly not beyond the realms of possibility. Believe me. My jiu-jitsu coach, who's notoriously stingy with his belts, he said he'd give me a black belt if I wore a gi. But I don't train in a gi. I haven't got time. You've got to do the wrestling, jiu-jitsu, the boxing, the weight training, the running. Plus, I've got a family. I haven't got time to attend the gi classes as well. know. I think after this I'm gonna though, because I quite fancy.
You want to have that black belt?
I want to have a nice little black belt, yeah. Something to hold my pants up. Remember, a black belt only covers 2 inches of your ass. Dan Miller's got to cover the rest.
Well, Mike Bisping.
Voice crazy, by the way. That's not my line.
Yeah, we got to give credit, right? We don't want any lawsuits there.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Bisping heading in, Dan Miller, Saturday night, UFC 114. Everybody check it out.
Yep, thank you very much. Just want to say thanks to Tap Out, Muscle Farm, all my sponsors. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for cheering. Thanks to everyone for booing. I'll make it entertaining. I'll try. Thanks, guys. On the Wolf Sledge.